Let's say you live in America. Let's say your financial situation is not that good, and you're looking for a job. So you look in the internet and all that, and you see a very nice job, but it's not in America, it's in Germany. So you contacted them and they tell you you have to work maybe from 6 to 12, and they will give you accommodation, they will give you food, they will give you everything. And you're like, wow, and you're going to get double or triple. You're like, yay, I have a job now, I can now create my future, I can now invest, and maybe later I can move back to America. So you book your next flight to Germany. So fast forward, you're in Germany, and you notice, wow, environment is very different from America, the language they speak, the culture, how they carry themselves. What is the first thing you're going to do? Learn the language. How to say thank you, how to say welcome, how to say good night, like the very basic German. When you have depression, you have learned, you talk the negative language. So for you to learn a new language, you have to start from zero. You learned a very negative language, self-hate. Everyone have their own interpretation about depression. Depression is when you let your thoughts control you. Depression is when you believe your own thoughts and make it a reality and live with it. When you look at depression as an illness, you are going to continue being a patient. So you realize it's not an illness. How do you do it? How do you work on yourself? You have to be self-aware. Each time you have this positive language and this negative language, we have to ask ourselves, why? For example, you're in the class and you're learning German and they just say, ich bin. You raise your hand and you ask the teacher, what does it mean? You see, each time you have the negative, positive, any thought, ask yourself why. When someone compliments you, ask yourself, why do I feel good? Is it because I'm seeking validation, or is it because I know? Being self-aware is the ability to be aware of the things you think, why you think it, and the impact it will have on you. This is basically being an observer. Most importantly, you have to know that your ego mind, its emotions, its perceptions, and its feelings are the cause of your suffering, not the events or the aspects of your being. This is very essential by coming to an understanding that all those feelings or perceptions are just a product of your mind. Yes, bad things happen out there, but suffering is the product of the mind, not events. Next thing after being self-aware is to understand your triggers, because coming out from depression takes time depending on so much factors, depending on you. Everyone have their own triggers, and everyone's depression started in different ways, from school, from family, from name it, from different places. My triggers, I realized that when I stay in the house for more than 2 days, I can't. If I say I will stay in the house, I feel drained. I just go for a walk and it really helps my mental health. I'll go outside, I'll walk for a very long period of time. These days I wake up with no problem, I go outside with no problem. I even made sure that I make breakfast. I have to eat breakfast, because before I was so exhausted to even make food for myself. I could stay for 3-4 days without eating. I used to eat cake and milk and that's it. I will survive with it for days. I now make food. I cook rice, I cook all type of food that I think about. I am so proud of myself, and that all came to knowing my triggers. Maybe you may say, let me go and see my friend and my boyfriend, my girlfriend, and you go and meet with them. You hang out, but you just feel off, and after the day you come back home and you feel exhausted, you feel drained. Or you may just talk to someone after, you just feel bad about yourself, and that is a big sign that this particular person or this particular environment is one of the causes that is making you feel depressed. You care for them, but that doesn't mean that you have to keep them around. They're just negative human beings out here. So these people, please avoid them as much as you can. For the last is you have to know what works for you. Doing fitness in the house is a struggle. It's a total struggle. But I love to walk. I love to dance. You will see me dancing like a crazy chicken in the house. You have to be active and you have to know what works for you. Make sure you get out of the house in any way you can. I really, really recommend journaling because it is one of the best things you can do for yourself. You're writing out your emotions. The more you write your emotions, the more you learn about yourself. Another way I try to journal is I talk to myself. I become my own best friend. If you're my neighbor, you're going to always be hearing me talking to myself because I don't have anyone to talk to, and I'll just be sitting down and talking to the wall. I love to talk to myself. Thank you so much. And if you're passing through depression, just know you're not alone. And it's not a sickness. You're going to overcome it. It doesn't matter what you pass through. We all pass through things, but it's all here.